100 video personal live stream challenge. 30 days to make 100 videos starting at the beginning of this month. I wanted to pop on because I just had a great conversation, a great interview with a good friend of mine, Nabia Bat Yehuda, and we were talking about home-based businesses. We're talking about, it ended up getting into a conversation on freedom. And, it brought a question to mind. And that question is are you really free? You know, there are so many things that are going on right now, just in our country alone. And I'm seeing people's minds being blown left and right on the rights that they thought that they had, that they realized that they no longer had, or maybe never really had, and they had the false sense of security. And so telehealth or telemedicine is going through the roof. Violence, domestic violence, in-home violence going through the roof, suicides going through the roof. I mean, there's so many issues that are happening right now because folks don't know how to cope with the reality of a loss of freedom. So my question to you is, are you really free? And what does that look like to you? Earlier this week, I did a video just asking about, do you have the real definition of success? What is your definition of success? And are you going by the success that you were designed for, that you were purposed for, or are you going by somebody else's definition? So there's a lot of questions that are happening right now because of we're facing our own limitations. Right now, we are, I had a good friend of mine who was in danger of being held at the hospital. And it's like, when they popped in, just in the split second, they were almost detained because of information that the hospital thought that they had, and they weren't sure if they needed to then keep this person. And they realized that just like that, they could have lost their freedom. Fortunately, that didn't happen, but freedom, it can be fleeting. And so if you don't have the right things in place, you could easily find yourself right in the line of fire. You could easily find yourself having lost the ability to operate as an individual who can think, move, operate independently of anybody else. I don't want to be so cryptic or so out there with the conversation, but I just wanted to pose this question. Are you really free? And if so, how do you know? And if not, what are you going to do about it? Do you have the ability to leave work, if you will, and have paychecks still continue to come through? Or when you stop working, does your paycheck stop working too? If you haven't set yourself up to where you can be in or out of work and your money doesn't stop, it doesn't go back on you, then you, my friend, are not free. And that should be, this is just my humble opinion, it should be the direction that you're leaning towards, that you can build assets that are going to work on your behalf, so that in the chance, that you aren't able to work, or you want to leave your work or retire or switch careers, whatever that is, you have the freedom to do that because your work is not your mainstay. Your work just happens to be something that you do, but your money is coming from something else. If you want to know more about what that looks like and what that can look like for you, then go ahead and either shoot me a message in the comments, DM me in the messages here on Facebook or on YouTube or on Twitter, wherever you're finding me right now. Go ahead and pop a message into the comment section and let me know that, hey, you know what, I'd like to know a little bit more about what you're talking about. And maybe we could just have a conversation and to see where you are spending your resources and how you can divert the resources that you are spending outside of your own entity, of your own enterprise, and convert that into spending your resources in, holding on to. Remember, there's a saying that it's not how much money you make that makes you, it's the amount of money that you can keep. So when you have a home-based business and when you run an enterprise, there are certain breaks that you get in the IRS tax code. And I'm not an accountant, I'm not an IRS official, so I'm not going to go too deep into that. But I was listening to a seminar, actually quite a few of them over this past week. And in it, they identified some 474, 75, or 76, 475 or 76 different tax breaks, tax write-offs that you get when you own a home-based business. And if you have kids, then there's some other benefits that you get that benefit your kids when you own a home-based business. So there is so much that is available to you when you have yourself structured properly. And if you don't know how to do that, if you don't know what that looks like, then go ahead and message me. I would love to share with you some things that you may not have considered, and then also some information that could help educate you so that you can make an informed decision on what you want to do with your life and your legacy and the relationship that you want to grow with your family and friends. You know, when I started looking into all of these different ways of creating more assets so that in the case, and I've already suffered a traumatic brain injury from a car accident, and that really was a sobering thing. I mean, when I got my memory back and started recognizing, wow, you know, I really am in a vulnerable position here without having those assets already set up. So I had to start looking into ways to make sure that I got my bases covered. And I know I'm not the only one who has suffered some type of traumatic circumstance in their life. And so I want to share with others, you know, you, if you happen to be one of those people, you don't have to have been in an accident, but you just have to realize that your life is not exactly where you want it to be right now. You would like an opportunity to create some assets. And by that, I mean things that will generate an income stream for you that you don't have to continue to grind away working for it. You set it up right initially, and then you allow it and the system that operates it to continue to work on your behalf as you help others do the same thing. You help them take their resources instead of putting it outward, outside of their families. You help them to bring it back into their families so that they can benefit and their families can benefit generation to generation to generation. If that is something that you know, that you're like, you know what, I need that in my life, then I want you to reach out to me. Go ahead and connect with me, you know, inbox me, and then let's talk. Let's see if what it is that you're looking for, if I happen to have the umbrella or the resources or the direction to point you in that can show you how you can build assets for yourself that are going to benefit you in the long and the short run. All right. On that note, I'm going to shut it down now. I've got my 50 done. This is the Harry 100 video live stream personal challenge, and 30 days to make those 100 videos. I'm at 50. I'm at the halfway mark, and I'm at the halfway mark of the month. So I'm excited about this on so many levels. I'm seeing so many people come out of their own comfort zones and do this challenge for themselves, and they're getting so good at it. So it's all about how do we develop the next best version of ourselves. As my good friend, Dr. Stacy NC Grant says, you know, we are always graduating to the next best version of ourselves. And you need the resources and tools in order to do that. And if you don't know where to get those things, remember I said that there are four avenues of all possible knowledge. Okay, there's the things that you know, the things you don't know, the things that you know that you don't know that you know, And then there's the things that you don't have a clue that you should know. You don't even know that they exist. They're not on your radar. That last quadrant is where most of us lose because we don't know that we should know something. We don't know that it exists. We don't even know to ask questions about it. And we don't know to have people in our lives to say, hey, you're missing something. You said that you want to go here, but you only have 3 wheels on your car. You need a 4th wheel. Here's where you get that 4th wheel. Here's how you will put it on the car. And here's how you drive to your destination. If you don't know what that 3rd wheel is, you are going to be in a deficit and you're going to have challenges getting to your finish line. Don't be that person. Reach out to me. Let's see if there's something that I have or some folks that I have in my network, in my resources that I could point you to that can help you grow the life that you want to live. All right. You have a great one. I'm looking forward to seeing you succeed. I will talk to you